Hi there and welcome to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you, yes you, Algebra 1. And in this lesson specifically, we're going to finish up our look at linear functions before an entire chapter on linear equations. So, leading into that, let's look at this graph below to answer the questions. What is the y-intercept of the graph? So, if this is the first time you're looking at a graph of a linear function, Let's break it down for us. We should know at this point that the horizontal axis is our x-axis and our vertical axis is our y-axis. So if we're looking for our y-intercept, intercept is like in football when you have an interception. Somebody runs, crosses the path of the football, and catches it. They intercept the football. So we're looking for where the line crosses the path of this case, the y-axis. Where does that line cross the path of the y-axis? And if you're looking at this line, it's going to cross the y-axis right here because there, again, is our y-axis. So our y-intercept is going to be -1. So our y-intercept is -1 because it crosses the y-axis at -1. Now, in part B, we want to pick 2 points on the line, any 2 points that you know that are exact points, and find the average rate of change between these 2 points. Hey, guess what? We have one of our points already. Let's use the y-intercept because we know that's a definite point right there, 0, -1. Now let's move on and see, well, that's in between 2 lines. We don't want to use that. It's a decimal value. We don't know the exact decimal. Same here, but right here, on the other hand, there's an exact point. We know that this point exactly is going to be the point 3, 1. And again, our average rate of change formula from the previous lesson is our change in y over our change in x is the formula I like to use. So now we're going to find our change in y. We go from -1 to 1. So I'm going to do 1 minus -1 to find my change in y values. And I go from 0 to 3. So I'm going to do 3 minus 0 to find my change in x values. So I'm going to get 2 over 3 as my average rate of change between these 2 points. And now that you have determined the y-intercept and the slope of the line, determine an equation to represent the line shown on the graph. Hold on a second. So remember that we learned in the very beginning of this lesson this formula y equals mx plus b, where m was the slope and b was the y-intercept. Now we know the slope. We just found the average rate of change, which is another way of saying slope, was 2 over 3. And we know our y-intercept is -1. So we could just substitute 2 over 3 in for m and -1 in for b, and we'll have the equation of this line. So we're going to have y is equal to 2 over 3. Don't forget to put the x next to it. And then the b value is -1. So the equation of this line that's pictured in this graph is y equals 2 over 3x, or 2/3 x, minus 1. So now in this exercise, we looked at this graph, we found the y-intercept, we found the slope, and using those 2 pieces of information, we were able to create an equation that represented this graph. And if this video was helpful to you, give it a thumbs up. And now you're ready for Chapter 3, which deals mainly with linear equations. Good luck and thank you for watching.